Eat shit and live, Bill.
You want burgers, hot dogs, some chicken, and ribs. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
So I think I'm officially getting older. I tried to reach for a drink and I hurt my shoulder.
Well, why were you trying to reach like that, though?
I don't know. I'm lazy. You know, I could have leaned more or I could have got up. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a possibility. Getting up is definitely a possibility. Although I don't know, because nowadays my knees do that weird popping thing sometimes. It's fucking, it's odd. I wish I was 16 again, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, no, but yes.
Right? Or like fucking 13. Remember 13 when you felt like you could beat up the world?
No.
You know,
I never felt like that.
Well, I don't know. That was a confusing time, especially for our hero of today's film. A little confusing time. But anyway, welcome to Night of the Horror File, a horror movie podcast and genre podcast where I take a horror movie or genre film and show it to my beautiful wife, Brittany, and we gather her thoughts. And sometimes she likes these movies and sometimes she purely hates them, like The Town That Dreaded Sundown. That one's going to go down.
Fine.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you thoroughly did not enjoy yourself on that one. But okay, so I feel like we've gone through we've seen an evolution in slasher movies here.
Yes.
Like we haven't gotten to any 90s slashers, but I feel like from going from The Town That Dreaded Sundown to fucking Tourist Trap and then today's feature, I think we've really seen like this cool evolution in how slashers were, like, you know, because the early slashers weren't quite there yet, weren't kind of on top. You know, Tourist Trap was a little bit more of a slasher.
Right.
Still not, you know, not quite there. And then it's like we're getting all we want out of today's feature, I feel like. So what did we watch this week, though?
Sleepaway Camp.
That's right. 1983's Sleepaway Camp. I think I have not met a person who doesn't love this movie so far. Well, I mean, we'll see at the end of the show. I may be married to one. Who knows? You know, it's always a surprise. Brittany never lets me know if she enjoys these until we record.
Right.
So it's always a shock. I'm as shocked as you guys are, especially with The Thing. I remember how shocked and you know, because back then when we did The Thing, we were not as good as we are now. And like, I remember just stopping dead and just being like, what the fuck? You hated The Thing?
You're like, what?
Oh, but you know, so it's always a surprise on you. But let's travel back to the year 1983 when a young NYCU film graduate student named Robert Hiltzik was trying to find a way into the film industry. Now, Hiltzik didn't want to be a gopher for, you know, and grab coffee for film producers all day, like some people start out with. So he really wanted to break in. And he figured the best way to do that was to write, produce, and direct his own feature film.
Okay.
Go-getter. He went to school with, I believe, Ang Lee. I think they were in the same school together at the same time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. Brittany's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You have seen an Ang Lee movie, actually. You've seen Brokeback Mountain.
I have not.
Whoa, you haven't seen Brokeback Mountain?
No, I told you
I went to the theater when I was a young asshole, right? Before I realized I also like buttholes and dicks. I went to the theater thinking me and my friends were going to make fun of it. Oh, we cried. Oh, it touched us in all sorts of different ways. We did not make a single joke. And we watched that movie. That movie is, those two cowboys loved each other, man. Anyway, so the first and the biggest decision was to figure out what kind of genre he wanted to go into, you know, what kind of movie to make. And his answer was, of course, horror. You know, everybody loves a good horror film. is how he saw it. And really, yeah, back then, horror was your go-to to get started with. It was easy for most people. You could make these things on a dime. You know, you're not making Ben-Hur here, so there's not a huge expectation of what you turn out. So if you do happen to turn out something spectacular like what we see today, then it's a massive hit. Right. And you've put your foot through the door. So anyway, so he set out to do just that and to spend as little money as possible in the process. Today's film, of course, is Sleepaway Camp, you know, also called Nightmare Vacation in the UK.
Oh, okay.
But it was filmed in one location in Argyle, New York, near Summit Lake at Camp Alcuin, where Hiltzik actually himself attended as a child. This camp.
Nice.
I believe now it's been either demolished or raised up, and it was supposed to be a location for condos. And I'm not exactly sure if that's the case now because I, of course, did not go tour the filming locations. I don't know.
Why
Does
not?
anybody remember our episode on Silent Night, Deadly Night? Where I told the crackhead story where I just got the wild hair up my ass to go on a motorcycle trip to where they filmed that movie.
Oh, yeah.
That was, I think back on that and I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? Like, I'm going to go see where they filmed Silent Night, Deadly Night. There's so many other places I could have gone and seen.
You could have gone and seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes, we're right on top of the Texas,
right?
The Seminole state where Texas Chainsaw Massacre was located, and I even loved Texas more than I loved that trip out there. But anyway,
whatever.
But anyway, Sleepaway Camp was made on a budget of about $350,000.
I thought you were about to say $350. I was like, what?
No. What's really crazy though is you could make your own movie for like probably $350. I mean, I don't know if the quality would be great, and you better find a lot of friends and family who are willing to act in your movie. But
Right.
I want to see more movies made on a flyby budget. You know, nobody does that anymore. I think everybody's too scared. I think big Hollywood has made us all think that, you know, you have to have like millions of dollars to make a movie nowadays.
Right.
But you can make a movie on your cell phone, man. Just because it's on your cell phone and stuff doesn't mean it's any less of a movie. So get out there and start shooting. But anyway, back on subject here. I believe this was shot in October, which kind of adds to the look, but it was actually supposed to be set in like midsummer.
Well, yeah, it's camp.
Yeah, so you just keep that in mind because there are several shots where you see these trees that are obviously like dying. But it's supposed to be summer. But then in some places you see it's all green and lush and stuff like that.
You got to do what you got to do, man.
Yes, you do. Now, obviously, the film today is known for its big ass twist ending, which even among slasher buffs today is still one of the most shocking and still sticks in your mind. Oh, especially that shot at the end. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
That is a shit the bed shot. That's just fucking scary as hell. But Hiltzik said he started writing this thing with the ending and the beginning. You know, he started out with those in mind, you know, something to hook the audience and then something to truly shock the audience. You know?
Okay.
You know, it and all the middle just kind of fell together there. You know, lots of people, honestly, you know, there is some controversy with today's film, as with any film, but today's especially, and it's stuff I'd like to address, especially at the end of the episode today.
Okay.
But it has been accused of being a ripoff of Friday the 13th. You'll hear people say that quite a lot. You know, well, it goes back to, I think people haven't actually seen these movies, or they've seen them years ago and then they've just seen one recently and they're like, oh yeah, they're the same movie. It's like, no,
not even freaking close.
No, this movie has a lot of surprising layers to it.
Oh yeah.
And I'll get to those as well. But this idea was really kind of knocking around Robert Hiltzik's mind before, you know, before even he set out to do this. You know, he had been to a summer camp. And I think him actually attending a summer camp when he was a child really does help. You know, with Friday the 13th, you know, you look at that movie and yeah, I get it that the counselors are there to build the camp up before they get actual kids out there. But none of that movie really screams camp.
No. It doesn't.
No,
And this one
no,
is
yes, this is
camp.
straight up a summer camp. But I think that helps. He actually had experience in that, and I did. So I don't feel like it's anything like Friday the 13th.
No,
I
I
mean,
don't either.
Aside from the camp setting and slasher, that's about as far as it goes, really.
I agree.
So we have a ton of stuff to talk about. So let's dive into Sleepaway Camp from 1983.
So a man is going to come in your bedroom and cut your head off. I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell like stab me in the ass with a curling iron. But oh, it's hot. It's hot. It's hot. We'll get to the curling irons. But anyway, what sets this slasher apart also from others around this time, besides the psychosexual stuff, we'll get to that, but is the fact that most of the cast are actually adolescents. Like these are actually, we got some kids in this movie.
Right.
That is something you don't typically see in some of these slashers around this time taking place in the woods.
No.
Normally it's 20-year-olds playing teens, Like Friday the 13th, I think Kevin Bacon was like 22 or something like that.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. And I think it also gives it a more authentic feel to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that I know this is weird, but I like that the counselors are younger too. Because when I went to camp, the counselors were younger.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also the fact that you get a feeling of like innocence during this whole thing.
Yeah.
I think that really helps play off of who Angela is and who that character we find out is. I think that, like I said, lots of layers in this movie.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So a man and his two kids are on a boat, like a little sailboat thing.
What do you call that? You call that a schooner or something? What is that?
Maybe
Sailboat?
that is what is called a schooner.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's very tiny.
I'm not a boater.
No.
I don't know my boat facts, everybody. I'm sorry.
So the kids that are there are Angela and Peter. And then there's some other boaters that have a skier on the back. There's a girl and a guy in the speedboat.
Yeah.
And the girl wants to drive. So they switch seats. Then we see that the dad and the kids turn over in their boat and they're playing in the water. They're not like concerned or anything.
No.
Well, the speedboat is driving right for them, even though the skier is yelling for them to stop. And this little girl on the skis, okay, the whole time she wants to fucking get off. She's like, can we stop now?
Yeah. And this actress who's on the skis here, I think they just kind of found her during this. And, which, by the way, I forget his name, but the guy who put together the Sleepaway Camp website, who was a huge, massive fan, he really did a great job of getting all these actors together for a reunion, I think, that took place in like 2004 or something.
Oh, wow.
But the actress who plays the skier here, people thought she was dead for the longest time. So she showed up to the reunion just to be like, I'm not dead.
Oh, my God.
And same with the director. People thought Robert Hiltzik was dead.
What?
For the longest time, people thought he died. It's so weird how rumors get started,
Right. They end up hitting the people, like the dad and the kids.
Yeah.
And we see that one kid is floating and looks safe, and the dad is dead. And then all we see is the life jacket of the other kid.
Yeah, we do. I think we do see a kid floating around in the water, though.
Yeah.
But so one of the kids died. Keep that in mind. It's very important, everybody.
And the other one is alive. So tragedy on the lake. What is that? Is that like a Memorial Day weekend for us here in Oklahoma? Someone always fucking drowns or gets killed. Like, oh yeah,
the lake is the biggest killer here.
Yes, because like people aren't watching their fucking kids; they're just getting drunk.
First of all, I've never understood going out on a party barge and getting plastered, but you also have your kids. Like,
yeah, I don't
sense
understand
does
that
it?
either.
Get a fucking sitter, guys.
Right.
Jesus.
And they'll like fucking pass those kids. You know how they all like tie up in a row? They'll fucking pass their kids from boat to boat to boat. Like they're fucking infants.
It's really weird. Guys, like come on a vacation here and just watch how Okies treat the lake.
It's horrible.
It's like we're poking a Greek god out there. It's fucking
last
bad.
time we went to the lake, they had like a fucking newborn out there. I was like, it's 102 fucking degrees.
There you go, Johnny, go swimming. Like, oh my God, no. But he's got his life jacket on. He'll be all right. He's just bobbing around.
No life jackets. Okay, no
It's
life
just-
jackets.
We just got him out there bobbing around. We're throwing our beer cans at him. It's fun. It's family fun. Anyway, God damn, I make fun of the state so much. It's a wonder why I live here. But the little kid here who plays Peter, the actor or little actor, his name is Frank Sorrentino. Now, if that last name sounds familiar,
Yes.
yeah, that's because he is the brother of Mike the Situation Sorrentino.
No.
Yes, from the Jersey Shore. In fact, I think they had a little spinoff from the Jersey Shore called the Sorrentinos.
Did they?
I think they did. I swear they talked about it. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know because Mike went to jail.
Did Mike go to jail? The
For-
Situation went to jail?
The situation, yeah.
What for?
Tax fraud.
Oh, that makes sense.
I'm pretty sure.
It was just tax fraud. He didn't rape nobody or nothing.
No. He's out now.
Oh, okay, good.
And
Just tax fraud.
They've been doing like a second Jersey Shore thing.
Oh, okay.
It's like called Family Vacation.
Well, maybe
or
that's
something
why
like
they
that.
didn't get around to the Sorrentinos.
Maybe so.
But anyway, Lenny here on the sidelines watching John get murdered by a fucking boat. Jeez, that's got to be rough.
Oh, yeah.
But he's played by James Paradise. Now, he played Buffy's dad in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie. Now, if anybody remembers that movie from the 90s, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, did you ever see that movie?
No.
Oh, man, it's wonderful. You'd love it. But there is a part in that fucking movie where Rutger Hauer, he says, he's threatening these kids at a dance and he says fruit. And the way he says rotten fruit has always made me crack up. He's like, I will split you like rotten fruit. Because he's wearing these fucking fangs. Anyway, this is not about that movie. But okay, I mentioned James Paradise because I really want everybody to go search and find this movie. Vinegar Syndrome put it out on Blu-ray, so it should be easy to find. Maybe, I don't know. You might have to pay like $100 to some scalpers on eBay. But
I'm not doing that.
no, don't do it for this movie. But he co-directed a movie that stars Wing Hauser called Champagne and Bullets, or also Road to Revenge. It's from 93, and my lord, it's a piece of early 90s exploitation. It is shitty. It looks like, I mean, fucking could happen at any time. I think fucking does happen. It's just out there. So I want you all to do some homework and search for that movie. But this film, like I said, it was shot in early fall, but of course set during midsummer. Now Now, like I said, especially during this opening shot, you see like a lot of the trees are turning colors and stuff like that. Those are the trees they couldn't spray paint as they did with other parts of the forest during the movie.
Oh my God.
They would go and they would spray paint dead grass and dead trees green.
Oh no.
So, hey man, you do what you got to do. Like you said.
I guess. Let's just kill all these trees, okay?
Fuck Mother Nature. What's it done for us?
Okay. I don't agree, but okay.
I feel like we just lost all the pagan audience. My bad, everybody. Anyway, moving on.
So now we get this weird scene where this very weird lady is sending her kids. Well, okay. Richard's her son.
Mm-hmm.
And Angela is there.
Yes.
The daughter from the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway. But why is she talking like this? She says, "Come, children, let's be on our way." And then she keeps like answering her own questions.
Yeah, and she has like little strings attached to her fingers so she can remember things.
But then she's like, "Oh, but I remembered it. But I have the string." Anyway. So she hands them their physicals before they go to camp and says that they can't tell how they got them because the camp wouldn't approve, even though they know she's a doctor.
Dun, dun, dun. A little hint to what's to come later.
Right. I didn't mention, but I need to put in here, Richard and Angela are cousins.
Oh, Aunt Martha.
Oh.
What a fucking character, man. This character.
We need more Aunt Martha.
Yes. We needed a whole Aunt Martha sequel. Desiree Gould plays Martha here, and she's only in this movie for a hot couple of minutes.
Oh, yeah.
But this character sticks out and remains in your mind. This character is almost on the same level as Angela to some of the fans of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, such a memorable character that could have just been a throwaway. But Desiree Gould brings this quirky, kind of fucked up attitude to her. Like, because, sadly, Gould passed away in 2021.
Oh.
But for the character, Hiltzik wanted this to be, like I said, quirky and weird, to really get across the strange way Angela and Ricky were being raised, to make the twist at the end make more sense.
Right.
And I gotta say, she does such an amazing job setting up the attitude of the movie,
that it's not even like surprising.
No.
Does that make sense? Like, it's surprising that it happened, but it's not surprising that she did that.
Yeah, you totally get that this is fucked up.
Right.
Like, from the very beginning, you're like, okay, hang on. Step back a minute.
What is happening? So the kids show up at camp and start running towards their cabins. Does this happen? Did you go to camp?
Did I go to camp? I did not go to summer camp. I sat out. We could have had a chance to go to summer camp with something called Jinx Wild, but I hated everybody I went to school with. So, so I obviously was not going to camp with these motherfuckers where I would be naked at some point. No.
Well, when I went to camp,
okay,
that didn't happen. We didn't just like run to our cabins and shit. Like,
you didn't just run to the cabins?
No.
You were like so excited. Cabins.
No.
I don't know. See, I never went to camp. So was it exciting? Was it fun? Like, what was camp like? Like, what was it like?
Well, it was a little scary.
Okay.
First of all, because, being away from home, being so far away from home and not being able to contact anybody was weird.
Was it like that old song? Hello, Mata. Hello, Fada.
No.
Here I am at Camp Granada.
No.
No? Okay.
We didn't write to our parents.
Oh, you never did that? You never wrote?
I wasn't gone for the whole summer.
Oh.
I was gone for like a week.
Oh, is that even a summer camp then?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I guess so. I don't know. I don't know these things.
Yeah, no, we just went for like a week. It was a church camp.
Oh. By the way, these kids running out of these buses and stuff. Most of the extras in this movie were either people who are local or it's friends and like family members. In fact, like I think one of the boys that jumps off this bus is actually Felissa Rose's brother.
Oh, that's cool. So then we see the kitchen staff watching the kids, and the head chef, Artie, says, "Oh, look at all the young, fresh chicken. Where I come from, we call them baldies." He says, "Makes your mouth water, don't it?" Then Ben, the sous chef, tells him that they're too young to even understand what's on his mind. And Artie says that there's no such thing as being too young.
Ew. Like immediately you're like, okay, this guy better fucking die soon.
Yeah.
Like I better see him die, and I better see him die horribly. And he does.
Yeah.
But like I love the feeling so far that we're getting from this movie, with the Aunt Martha scenes, from the opening scene that feels disconnected somehow, but we find out is connected.
Right.
But like even with Aunt Martha, and then the scene with the fucking pedophile cook, it's so weird and offbeat from what we're used to seeing in a slasher movie.
Right. And you know what's weird about this scene with the cook and stuff? It brings the innocence of the campers.
Yes, I think we needed that.
Yeah,
because I think like the thing is, not just we're getting creeped out,
right?
Which by the way, this Artie, the head chef, is played by Owen Hughes. By the way, he was a Shakespearean actor, believe it or not.
Well, he ventured away a little bit.
He did a very good job of playing a pet ass. But Hiltzik really wanted all the deaths to be basically justified, and I think we can get behind Artie's demise here.
Oh, yeah.
And I really do love that about this movie. Instead of having our killer just running around killing indiscriminately, we connect more with why the killings are being done.
Yeah.
Even though I don't like to say it's too cathartic, because I feel like I'm selling mankind or, humans down the fucking toilet with that. Yeah. But in a way, it kind of is, because you're kind of like, I don't know. I'm ready to see this asshole get off. Like, can we? Because even in real life, you feel the same way. You know, it's those thoughts. So it is kind of got a bit of a catharsis to it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like, and that's the one thing that I think also separates it from Friday the 13th. You know, we connect more with the killer.
Oh, I agree.
We're not just, you know, with those early slashers, they start out serious, and then eventually you're rooting for the killer in the sequels. But here, I think throughout this movie, you're kind of rooting for the killer right off the bat.
Right.
Which it's kind of cool. I don't know. It's a different feeling, you know. Which
is weird because we don't know that there is a killer yet.
Right.
Does that make sense? Well, I mean, we know it's a slasher,
we know.
Right.
We know going into this.
But if you never watched this and you never saw a trailer or something, you may not know that there's going to be a killer.
True. Because without that little opening scene where tragedy happens, it's kind of like a weird offbeat version of Meatballs, like just waiting for Bill Murray to make the morning announcements.
Right.
You've never seen Meatballs, have you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I thought you just were saying a word.
No. It's a camp comedy. It's
oh,
you know, it's nobody dies in it. Like it's just.
Well, then I don't want to watch it.
I know. Then it's useless. Isn't it? Anyway.
So.
I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness. So then Ricky ends up seeing his ex-girlfriend who has really matured this year. And she's a bitch. And he tells her that. Angela is in the bunk with her. And then Meg is there. She is a counselor. And she introduces herself and she says, I'm Meg. M-E-G. Okay, like it's hard to fucking spell Meg. Like you needed to spell Meg.
You're right.
Well, she's kind of a bitch too, okay?
Yes.
And Angela's just sitting on her bed staring at Judy, and the girls are already picking on her because she's silent.
Yes, right off the bat, Angela's getting just fucking horrendously made fun of and stuff. You know, it's a lot of bullying in this movie.
A lot.
I think that's another reason why, you know, fans have connected with this movie, horror fans, I think in general, because we were all bullied and we were all done this and stuff like that. And like I said, I don't like to say it's cathartic because I hope none of you out there are wanting to kill everybody, but you know, it kind of is, you know, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to see something happen here, which kind of makes, you know, spoilers, Angela's the killer, but it kind of makes what she does throughout this movie kind of, I don't know, like it kind of makes her an anti-hero. I'll explain more of that later on, but we'll get into that. But Angela, of course, is played by the incredible and beautiful Felissa Rose. I fucking love Felissa Rose and anything she does, anything she pops up in, no matter how small the role. I think she got a cell phone shoved up her vagina in Victor Crowley, which was that was a wild scene. It comes out her mouth and everything. It's crazy. But anyway, she's a Long Island native, and she was only 13 at the time that this movie was shot. Yeah, which is super young for a feature film. You know, usually studios only cast 18 and up. I believe Jonathan. I'll remember his last name in a minute, but who plays Ricky? I think he was 17 at the time that this was shot.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Well,
what?
Because that's what you do, you know, back then. You go and find older actors who look younger.
He looks like he's 10.
Yes, he does look very young. I believe the actor is actually short in real life.
I would assume so.
Yeah. But anyway, like I said, they usually only cast 18 and up that look younger because of shooting restrictions on young actors. You know, you're only allowed a certain amount of time to shoot with them. And I think it's really good that Hiltzik took that challenge and made this movie the way he did because, like we said, you know, it feels better this way. But Felissa always wanted to be an actress. She's said she wanted to from the time she could speak. She wanted to do something in entertainment. And her mom noticed that she loved to perform in front of anybody she could. So she enrolled Felissa in dance and singing lessons. Now, so Felissa went on and she wanted to be a Broadway star after that and even auditioned for the role of Annie for the film adaptation of Annie. Which,
oh, wow.
I know people that love that, and I hate it. I hate the Annie movie.
Well, then.
It's just so annoying.
You have no soul.
Tomorrow. Yeah, fucking get out of here. Anyway, I was the only little kid who hated Little Orphan Annie. I'm glad you're an orphan. Anyway. But anyway.
Whoa, okay.
I'm sorry. But you know, she was 11 at the time, and she was quite heartbroken when she didn't get that part. You know, now it was in high school when she fell in love with acting. She was a member of a speech and debate club and won a New York state championship for dramatic interpretation. That planted the seed in her to pursue acting instead of musical theater.
Okay.
Now, Sleepaway Camp, of course, is her first paying gig here. This is her first role, her first movie, and it got her in the Screen Actors Guild. And I'm sure you're wondering, were her parents okay with this? Like, what did her parents think of this? According to Felissa, they were just excited she got the role. Now, they did have a stipulation, you know, that she couldn't do anything dangerous, and they didn't really want her to be killing people on screen.
Yeah.
And of course, no nudity or anything like that. She's 13, first of all. That would be illegal.
Right.
You know, this is Robert Hiltzik, not Victor Salva. But that'll make sense when we talk about Jeepers Creepers in the future. But anyway, they were just excited that she got the role. And so that's why throughout this movie, when the killings are happening, that's why those aren't her hands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In fact, those hands belong to Jonathan Tiersten, who plays Ricky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which also lends to the whole confusing thing, because you think maybe Ricky's doing it, and you're trying to figure out, you know, it's either Ricky or Angela killing people, but you're not quite sure who it is yet. And so it lends to that confusing you know, because those are boy hands. And
that makes
that's
sense.
not Angela, you know.
Right.
It's a very smart move, and plus it, you know, helped calm Felissa Rose's parents down. But but speaking of Jonathan, Felissa Rose had a bit of a crush on him. In fact, I believe they remained friends, and they were also kind of dating during this time. It was like a puppy love situation, you know?
Oh.
Yeah. They remain great friends today, and they were inseparable on the set. And she even went to some of his shows when he played gigs with his rock band, Bambi's Apartment, you know, after they made this movie together.
Yeah.
But you know, being 13, you'd think she couldn't even see this in theaters, but she said she snuck in. So she got to see herself on the screen. Now, she was paid, I think she got paid pretty good. I mean, for a 13-year-old, she got paid $5,000 for this role.
Yeah, I just looked that up. And you said 1983, right?
Yeah.
Well, now in 2021, $5,000 is $13,000.
I think that's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays, I think the kids get paid more, but it's probably because their parents are embezzling their money. But anyway.
Okay. I mean, you're probably right, but okay. I don't know what to say.
Brittany is shell-shocked right now.
Okay. So a few days later, Angela hasn't eaten or spoken, and Ronnie, one of the male counselors, comes to talk to her. Ronnie takes her into the kitchen to see if he can find something she might like to eat, and he introduces her to Artie. And of course, he's being a creep already.
Yes.
So he takes her into the pantry, and he starts to undo his belt and says that he's going to give her something she would like.
Oh, God. You're just begging, because we've seen a lot of fucked up movies. Yeah. So I don't know if you were thinking this was going to go a bad way or what was about to happen.
I wasn't sure.
Okay.
I was thinking that he was going to get caught because...
Hopefully this movie, it's like, not this movie.
It's a slasher
Please,
movie.
no.
Like... But Ricky ends up walking in, and Artie gets mad and yells at him as the kids run out. And then he's like punching the boxes, like,
yeah, it's
bro.
Like, oh man, I didn't get to rape that little kid.
Right?
What the fuck?
What?
Yeah, again, you fucking hate this character so much. Much so that, like, even though it's horrifying what we see happen in a little bit, it's still like it feels good.
Yes.
It's like it couldn't happen to a better person. But anyway. So, by the way, you know, when Artie gets mad, you know, he picks up Ricky, Jonathan Tiersten, and like slams him against that shelf.
Yeah.
Well, like, and the guy playing Artie actually was slamming him against that shelf. He had like lines on his back after that.
Oh, shit.
But anyway, you got to love the stare Angela has. That stare, man.
Oh, it's
she has throughout
creepy
this.
as hell.
Felissa Rose did an amazing job with this. She still has it, by the way.
Oh.
You know, and she'll do this at fan conventions and stuff. She'll do the stare for you for pictures and stuff.
That's awesome.
But that was one of Hiltzik's directions that was given to Felissa Rose. You know, give that. He wanted her to have a really creepy, like 1,000-yard stare. You know,
Nice.
which it's fantastic because it
Yeah.
like seeps into your fucking soul.
Like, what the fuck?
You know, funny story though about this movie. I didn't actually hear about this movie until I was in high school.
What?
I know. I didn't discover it. I kind of heard of it, like, because I remember my sisters talking about it, but I think they were more talking about the sequels.
Oh, okay.
Which are completely, it's still Angela and stuff, but it's not Felissa Rose. It's Pamela Springsteen. They're good movies, but they're not, you know,
it's not Sleepaway.
Yeah, I could take them and leave them, honestly. Like, they're fun. They're fun sequels and they're fun slashers, but they're not this. It's not Felissa Rose. I mean, come on.
Right.
But no, I didn't hear about this. I didn't get to see this until high school. And that's because the only reason I really started noticing it was because I was a fan of the band CKY. Who most of you guys, I'm sure, have seen CKY or a mention of CKY because they were always hanging out with Bam Margera and the Jackass crew and stuff like that. And now that band was fronted by Felissa's now husband, Darren Miller. And they actually met because he was a huge fan of Sleepaway Camp.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, she first noticed him when he was on one of the Jackass episodes where he had her face on a giant T-shirt.
Oh.
And she's like, who the hell is that?
Why does he have my
Why does he have my face? And that's what he would do. He would incorporated images of Angela, you know, that famous scene at the very end of her screaming or with her mouth open. Or he had that on T-shirts that had CKY on it and stuff like that. His guitar, one of their guitars had a big old picture of her on it.
Why was he
like
so
that.
obsessed with her?
Why am I so obsessed with things? You know, but you know, even I believe even on, it might have been a single or one of their albums. It was called Disengage the Simulator. That her face is right there on the cover.
Dang.
Yeah.
And they let her do that?
right.
Or let him do that?
Yeah, I'm sure they did. You know, at the time, nobody's coming to sue you for using Sleepaway Camp. This movie, it was huge when it came out, but it kind of faded real fast. And it really didn't pick up traction again until years later. I think with the release of the Anchor Bay Blu-ray or DVD set, it kind of started having a resurgence in popularity. I don't know. You know, they eventually met and fell in love and they married and had kids together. And I don't know. It's kind of weird because it's like, for me, it's like two of my loves, music and horror, met and got married. I always love that they're still together. I think she had crushes on everyone in this movie, is what Felissa Rose said.
I mean, she was 13. Like,
Hopefully she didn't have a crush on Mel.
probably
I
not.
don't think so.
I mean, he looked pretty sharp in that. Like before he died, he looked pretty sharp.
Mel looks like he's about to go golfing at any minute. I love the character of Mel.
But not like golf, just fall asleep in the golf cart. That's what he looks like.
He does. You're right.
Anyway, so a little bit later, Artie and Ben are getting ready to make dinner, and there's this huge pot of boiling water. Like, it's so big that Artie has to stand on a chair to reach the lid.
Which, by the way, they're cooking corn.
Yeah.
And my God, every time I see this scene, I always want corn. I'm like, there's some butter. So like, I'm such a fat fuck. So just like watching Sleepaway Camp wanting corn. Who does
I guess
that?
there's worse things you
Who
could
fucking
want.
does that?
You. Everybody?
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe. I don't know.
It's freshly shucked corn, okay?
Isn't that? Oh.
Anyway,
Moving on.
so he starts to make the corn, and we get this POV shot of someone who pushes Artie against this. He's forced to like grab the shelf that's above this boiling pot. And he has to hang on or he's going to fall and the pot's going to fall on him. Well, this person starts to scoot the chair from underneath him and he does end up falling and the water spills on him and he's laying there screaming in pain and his skin is like boiling and it's like burned the fuck up.
It is awesomely horrific and especially the scream he's letting out. Holy fuck,
and
man.
If you stare at it, you can see the blisters. Like,
yes, it is an unnerving scene. For the burn scene here, Artie, the actor, is propped up on a fake floor where underneath a liquid gelatin stuff is being pumped through those fake blisters. And that's how they're making him sit there and pulse. And it's nasty. He is melting. Ed French worked on this movie, and if that name sounds familiar to some of you film buffs, then you've probably seen a lot of Ed's work. I believe he's worked on a few of the Terminator movies. He's worked on movies like Amityville 2, The Possession, Nightmare from 1981, and of course, a previous episode of the show, Blood Rage. He worked on that as well. Ed French is an Oscar-winning makeup artist.
Oh wow,
yeah, he's his effects are in a lot of stuff. Yeah.
I didn't expect. That's what I did not expect from this movie was to see great.
Well, it's a low budget. It looks very low budget too at first, you know, and so you're not expecting this level of effects. You know, I would say, I know a lot of people might fight with me on this, but I'd say since everybody likes to compare it to Friday the 13th, I think these effects are on the same level. As Tom Savini's effects in that first Friday the 13th movie.
I agree. It's awesome. So EMTs come to take him to the hospital, and Mel, he's there, and he's like the camp director or whatever. He's an old dude.
With his old dude socks on, man.
Yes. Why are his eyes like that? Like they look all puffy, like he's stoned or something.
I'll kind of talk about the poor actor that played Mel in a second.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
It's okay. We really shouldn't make too much fun about Mel's appearance, but. Do you get, like, when you age, do you get those socks in the mail? Like, is that a part of a package? Like those long dress
they
socks?
have, like, subscription socks.
How boring can you be if you have a subscription to socks?
Well, the ones that I saw were, like, fun socks, but, like...
Like, you're just so excited to get out to your mailbox to get the newest batch of socks. God damn.
You know, socks were, really big. I remember my dad wearing... like Argyle socks and stuff like that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
When he sold cars, it was like a big deal. And I'm like, they can't even fucking see your
That
socks.
is weird. That's something we've lost over time is the art of socks.
Yeah.
And like how ties used to be such a big deal.
Yeah. And he wore ties every day and stuff like that. He was a car salesman. I mean, get it?
Oh, yeah.
But nobody ever fucking saw his socks.
Weird.
And he always wore loafers.
Loafers, man.
Yeah, I want some loafers.
I think I'd blow my brains out if I had to wear loafers and socks. Anyway.
Anyway, so Mel is there and he's talking to Ronnie and he says that no one needs to know what happened because he doesn't want to scare the kids, he says. Yeah, whatever. You don't want to get shut down.
Yeah, you greedy miser.
Right.
A greedy camp director.
Right. Then he makes Ben the head chef and he's going to pay everyone a little bit more to keep them quiet.
I'd probably stay quiet too if you give me a raise. But now camp director Mel is played by the great character actor, great in my mind, Mike Kellen from movies like God Told Me To, the Coen flick, Midnight Express, and The Jazz Singer. He was actually pretty sick while filming this flick, and actually he was dying of lung cancer.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, while shooting this, and he did his best to conceal it. I think he does a great job in this movie, but you have to imagine he was probably in a shit ton of pain throughout the entire shoot of this film. But he, like I said, he does a great job. I believe Kellen actually, I believe he passed 3 months before this film was released.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, so I wonder if you got to see it. God,
Probably
you put
not.
so much work into something and never see it.
That's really sad.
Sad. So.
Yeah.
So let's not make too much fun about Mel.
Okay. Now we're in the boys' cabin, and they're picking on the nerdy kid. And Ricky is like the ringleader of this.
Now is this where they do the butt thing?
Yes.
I wonder, this has never happened to me. And I never did it to anyone else. But is it a thing? Do people do
don't know.
this? Like you
I
raise
don't
it?
know.
What is it with dudes like doing weird homoerotic shit to each other?
I don't know.
Like
I'm not
like
a dude.
like you hear about those college kids shoving carrots up their roommates' asses and shit like that. It's just so.
That's
like if y'all want to
weird.
fuck, just fuck. It's cool.
See, guys are weird because if girls want to kiss, we're just gonna kiss.
Yeah. See, there's none of that in dude stuff. You know,
No.
like,
You guys are playing with each other's penises and shit, and girls are
we
like,
have rules about not looking at penises while you're peeing. Like there's a whole rule. You do not look at a man's penis while he's going to the bathroom. All right. You punched.
girls don't do that. Like, I'm gonna stand in the bathroom with you, and there's like this unspoken rule that you don't like stare. But if you did stare, then nobody's really gonna say anything to you.
Man. As a pansexual person, I missed out. God damn it.
Anyway, so they all go to play a game of baseball, and Ricky's team ends up winning, and the other team is just pissed the fuck off.
Mhm.
And I'm not quite sure how this scene is relevant to the movie, but okay.
It's relevant so we can have the line "eat shit and live." I think
Yes.
it's got to be the best comeback
he
to
said,
anything.
He said, "Eat shit and die, Ricky," and he said, "Eat shit and live."
It's like that's
Okay.
a good one, man.
Yeah.
Ricky's fast with the burns, bro.
I like that. I like that.
Yes.
But then, okay, so I wrote that last line about it being relevant, and I realized later on why it's relevant, because those guys don't like Ricky and his friends, and so in turn they pick on Angela.
Yeah, see, Brittany is picking up on
I'm
movie stuff.
Picking up what they're putting down.
Nice. I was about to go into a wordy explanation of how this.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you for saving the listeners. But there are a ton of quotable lines in this movie. Like later we have that Carpenter's Dream line, which we'll get to.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, it's great. And that's uttered by Judy, who is actually Judy in this movie is played by Karen Fields. And Fields actually got to play Judy once more in a short called in 2014 called Judy, where she becomes a killer herself. You got to just see it. It's just a short little fun movie. It's included on the Scream Factory Blu-ray of Sleepaway Camp.
Nice.
But Jane Krakowski originally was slated to play Judy, and I'm not sure if you are familiar with Krakowski.
No.
But if any of you have seen Ally McBeal or 30 Rock, then you'll know who she is. But she turned down the role when she discovered the fate of poor Judy.
Oh.
As we discovered later on, she thought it was too horrific.
Did she play Allie in Ally McBeal?
Nah, she's one of the friends. Man, that show sucked.
Then I don't know. Like,
God,
I can
that show
picture the
sucked.
face of Ally McBeal from the cover, like the
Yeah.
you know, all the
Felissa
commercials.
Flockhart,
Yeah, like you see all the commercials and stuff like that, but I don't know anything else
Man,
about that show.
there are people that'll tell you that show is amazing, and it's not. It's bad.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's bad. I don't know. Maybe I think it's bad. Maybe you'd like it.
I don't know. I don't even know what it's about.
Single white lawyer wants to fuck. I don't.
Oh,
that's
okay.
pretty much the basis.
Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's get back to the point here.
Let's get back to camp.
So at some point later, some of the guys are talking about going skinny dipping, but there aren't enough girls. So they joke and they say that they're going to ask Angela. So they say that she's fucked up. And two of them go up to ask her, and she just sits there silently staring at them
Man,
with her piercing fucking stare.
This would have done it for me, dude. You see, this is what I'm saying. Like, in a horror movie, I would have been murdered. Like, because I would have gone for a girl like this.
So you're saying that you're Paul?
Yes. Well, sort of. Paul, I think, is just trying to get with anybody who'll give it to him, though. You know, he feels like an undercover asshole, as we'll find out kind of later.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know, man. I just always went for the weirdos, you know. You mentioned they go skinny dipping. I've never understood the appeal of skinny dipping. Is it like a freedom thing? Is that what it is?
I guess. I mean, I only skinny dipped like when I was trying to impress my friends.
I did it once in my backyard in a pool, and I was like, yeah, I don't like this.
I mean, I could understand if you're like a doll and you're about to get freaky or something.
But a bunch of dudes going skinny. I feel like this is just an excuse to see your buddies naked.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Guys just needed to just start fucking, and I think the world would have been a better place.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway.
Quit doing this weird undercover shit. Like, hey, bro, let's go skinny dipping. Just me and you? Like, yes, yeah, man, it would be funny. How will it be funny if it's just us? Because that's funny.
If you want to see my dick, just say
you want to see my dick, man. Is that I'm right here. I can just pull it out. We'll get it over with.
That's funny. Anyway, so they start calling her Looney Tunes and picking on her. And Ricky hears them and starts to fight with them. So all the boys just dogpile, and then they just split up really quick. Like, what? Well, Ricky's friend Paul walks over and he talks to Angela. He says that Ricky told him about her family, and he says that he's really sorry for that. And then Paul has to leave, and Angela finally talks and tells him good night.
It's very sweet. Like, she kind of gets out of her shell with Paul and stuff. It's a very sweet scene.
Right.
Technically, this slasher has a lot more male nudity than female nudity in it, which is kind of different too, Not a lot of boobs. There's no boobs.
I was about to say, we didn't see any boobs.
I don't think there's a single breast in this movie, but there's a lot of bare male ass. And maybe one dong. I think we only get one dong.
One.
It's a scary dong. It's a very horrific dong.
But I got to tell you.
Okay.
I meant to write this down too. In the scene in the mess hall when Ronnie goes to talk to Angela for the first time, his shorts are shorter than Meg's. Man,
where are these shorts? Can you buy these shorts still?
Yeah.
Like, I want a pair of these shorts. I want to see if I look good in these shorts.
You're going to hate them.
You think so? They're right up on my junk there.
Yes. You can see like the outline of like their stuff.
Oh man, that would be funny. I'm going to get a pair of these shorts and go out to shopping.
You would hate them.
You think so?
You would not get far.
All right, I'm going to search and find a pair of these. What are these, old running shorts is what this is? It's like old athletic shorts.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, there is a lot of short shorts in this movie that men are wearing.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, how did you keep your dong in these things at the time? Like, was that what tidy whities were for?
I don't know.
I think that's why people wore those back then, to keep your junk inside your athletic shorts.
But if you're going to get athletic shorts, you need to get a crop top.
All right, Patreon people. This is a Patreon goal. If we get 10 people subscribing to the Patreon, I will wear a crop top and athletic shorts. I don't know who wants to see that, but
I don't. And I probably have to pick them out. So it's nighttime now, and the guys and the girls are at the lake, and the guys are getting into the skinny dipping, but the girls, they don't want to. They're just standing there like, what the fuck? So the two guys that were picking on Angela before are planning something while they're out there.
Yeah.
And one of the guys, Kenny, he goes in a canoe with a girl named Leslie. And he starts messing with her, and they fall in the water. Well, Leslie is pissed off, so she swims away, and Kenny gets under the canoe, and someone pops up from the water under the canoe, and this person grabs him and drowns him.
You killed Kenny. Anyway, during this canoe scene, the actor Johnny Dunn, who played Kenny here, he actually cut his hand when they flipped this boat over, because he hit it on a rock at the bottom of the lake.
Oh, no.
And he had to have stitches. But if you watch, the actor who plays Leslie, she kind of looks a little different when she's swimming off.
Okay.
That's because Lisa Buckler, who played her until the swim scene, she got mono and was out sick during this shoot.
Oh.
Yeah, so Robert Hiltzik's wife, Missy, shot it. They actually got married shortly after this film wrapped.
Oh.
It's kind of cool. This film's kind of cool when you hear about the making of and when you watch the commentaries and stuff like that, because you get a sense that everybody was friends. Like,
Right.
and I think, like I said, like when everybody gets along and it's a good shoot and stuff like that, I feel like that really comes through in the movie. It really makes a better movie.
Oh, yeah, I agree. So the next day, one of the counselors has to go down and clean up the mess that the boys had made. And he's all mad and he's ranting.
I love it. I love it because he's like throwing chairs and he's falling over them. And this guy does a great
he's just
job.
getting more and more pissed off. So he sees the canoe and it's on the land now. So he flips it over to move it and he sees Kenny is dead and a snake slithers out of his mouth.
I love that.
Which I did not catch the first time I watched this. I must have looked away at this point or something. Whoa.
It's so cool, man.
Whoa.
It's such a good touch. There's a lot of that in this movie with the
Yes.
dead bodies and stuff. Because normally you just see a dead body, but they do these little touches like that snake slithering out of his mouth that just makes you go, ugh.
Yeah. I love it. So then we see the police are there and an officer says that he looks like he had drowned.
Yeah.
Well, Mel starts freaking out and says that this had to be an accident and that he hit his head and then he drowned. And the officer says that he doesn't quite know yet. He's not the Emmy, and the Emmy will tell them more.
Hey, pay attention to this officer's mustache, by the way, because
How can you miss it?
we will talk about it at the end of this movie.
How can you miss?
Because it goes from a porn stash, a very good groomed porn stash here, natural porn stash, to something ungodly at the end of this movie.
Yes.
And we'll talk about it when we get there.
So Ronnie says, Ronnie had gone to say something before Mel freaked out, and Mel yells at him and walks off. And the officer asks what Ronnie was going to say, and he says that he remembers Kenny being a really good swimmer. And the officer just says that he hopes he's wrong and drives off.
And I fucking love Ronnie.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
Ronnie's amazing. He's either saving the day or he's working out. It's so good. Because there's a scene later on where Mel is talking to Ricky and he's kind of grilling him for info. And you just see in the background, Ronnie's just back there lifting weights.
Hell yeah.
I love Ronnie. He's always
having a
asking
good time.
people, you want to go back to my shack? But he's probably the only nice camp counselor, too, that you get in this movie.
Yeah, he's like this, like the step down from Mel, I think.
Yeah.
Like the assistant or something.
He's great. Paul DeAngelo, he was apparently actually really super nice in real life too.
You
So,
can tell.
Yeah, this guy's just so nice.
Oh, yeah.
But if you can get your hands on a copy, check out another movie he appears in called Silent Madness. It's very good. I think it was from '84. Paul DeAngelo was also, I think he was directing a movie during this.
Oh,
Like
wow.
I think he was making a movie or directing or wrote a movie. Guys, I'm sorry.
He was doing something with the movie.
But what's really cool, if you go to the website returntosleepawaycamp.com, on the site, there's a video where Paul DeAngelo takes you on a tour of Ronnie's shack and you get to see all the memorabilia that Paul saved from the movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And he would return. I think he returns for Return to Sleepaway Camp. He returns for that movie.
Nice. So Angela is watching the girls play volleyball, and Paul comes to talk to her. He asks her if they can see the movie at the rec all together. Well, Judy sees what's going on, and she says something to Meg about it. So Meg goes over and tells Paul that he needs to leave, and she says to Angela that if she isn't going to participate, then she needs to stop talking to the boys and just sit there. One of the other counselors stops Meg from yelling at her because she's just irate because Angela's talking to a boy. Like,
yeah, and
what
Judy's
the
pissed
fuck?
off about it, and Meg and Judy are a thing together.
Yeah.
I guess because bitches flock together. I don't.
Right. And I'm confused, kind of. Is Judy a counselor? No, she's not.
Judy is not a counselor. Meg is a counselor, I believe.
Right. Meg is a counselor. I knew that. But Judy acts like,
Did we miss
A
something? Are
counselor
they
too.
related? Is that like an older sister or something?
I don't know. I just think they're bitches.
Oh, okay. Like I said, the bitches of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a T-shirt that says that.
So the other counselor, Susie, I couldn't catch her name until later, but she sits down and talks with Angela and asks her if there's something else she would like to do. And Angela says she just wants to watch them.
I just want to stare.
Yes.
into their souls. But Catherine Kami, she plays Meg, and she had a pretty good career before this. She actually starred in the soap opera All My Children as Pamela Kingsley. And Felissa Rose had said when she met her, she was kind of starstruck around her during this movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So after the movie, at the rec hall, Paul is walking Angela back to her cabin. He takes her to show her something, and he ends up kissing her. She likes it. She's fine with it.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah. It like I said, the scenes like this are really, I don't know. It's so innocent and sweet. And,
At the beginning.
yeah, at the beginning.
At this part.
At this part, yeah.
Right. So she goes inside, and Judy talks to Paul. She says that Angela doesn't seem like his type. Well, he just walks off because he's annoyed with her. And he goes to his cabin, and the boys are inside picking on that nerdy boy boy again while he's sleeping.
This poor kid.
Yes, they call him Mozart.
Yeah.
That's his name. Well, he wakes up, grabs a knife, and tells Ricky he's going to kill him.
This gets serious.
And this is when a counselor walks in, and he is pissed. And he takes the knife from him, and he was like, "You're lucky if you'll get this back by the end of camp."
It's just like, whoa, man, you guys might want to stop picking on this dude. He just pulled a knife on you.
They're all laughing about it, though. They think it's
Hey,
great.
pulled a knife.
What?
Holy shit.
Why does this kid happen?
Well, it's camp. You got to have a knife with you, I suppose.
This is like a hunting knife.
You went to church camp. You didn't go to real camp. Yeah, there's bears and shit. Church camp, what did you do? Have to
I listened to people.
praise God for a little bit, read the Bible.
That's where I learned about Weezer.
You know what's really funny? Every story I've heard from church camp, man, church people get freaky.
I don't think there was any freakiness at my
There was no
church camp.
freaky. Oh, you went to the lame one then, man.
If there was, I wasn't paying attention.
There were several stories I've heard of people losing their virginity at church camp. Like, seriously.
Oh, yeah, I've heard. I didn't go to Falls Creek.
For those of you who don't know, that's
I didn't go to the Baptist
the
church camp.
Baptists.
We listened to people play guitar and sing Weezer songs.
God, man. Could they actually play the
Yes.
guitar? Okay, because
Yes.
there's always those people at a camp when they go to camp. There's always that one motherfucker who pulls out the guitar and he can barely fucking play.
Oh, no.
So-
They were great.
Oh, okay, so you know what I'm talking about though, because
Yeah.
you get that bling, kumbaya,
Bling.
yeah, my lord, kumbaya, yeah.
No, he was like, the guy that played the guitar was like the band guy. Like,
Oh, okay, so he knew his way. Okay,
Yeah.
I got it. All right, all right.
Yes. So the next day, Paul goes to talk to Angela, and Judy walks up and is teasing them. She then goes to talk to Meg, and Meg goes to talk to Angela,
Yeah.
and she's yelling at her for not going in the water. And she wants Angela to talk to her, and she won't. So Meg starts shaking her until Ronnie has to pull Meg off of her. And Ronnie is pissed. And he's like, "We're going to talk in my shack."
Come back to my shack.
Right? But I don't think he's like trying to shag people in this shack.
No, he's just
I had to call
mad.
it the
He's,
shack
I
talk.
guess it's his yelling shack, because he's too nice, so he has to yell in his shack.
Yeah.
But again, you gotta love that fucking stare. Anyway, Felissa Rose said that with this stare, that's Angela, and the whole time she's staring at someone, and you can tell, like, when she stares at someone, it's usually because they're gonna die, if you haven't noticed.
Yes.
And she said the whole time she's staring, she's just thinking about how they're gonna die.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Meg and Judy, like I said, bitches flock together. They're great asshole characters. And it really goes to show you, like, I think it's really cool because, like, these kids really sell it in this movie because most of them were like 13 to 18 years old.
Right.
And they
right.
do a pretty good job. Like, that's another thing. There are no annoying kids in this movie. Well, like, and you run the risk
I
of
think
having
about that for a
Yeah, well,
minute.
you run the
Yeah.
risk of having a kid in your horror movie because you run the risk of having the annoying kid.
Right.
Anybody who's seen House by the Cemetery knows what I'm talking about.
I agree. You do run that risk.
Yeah. The guy who plays Paul, Christopher Collette, and nowadays when he's not acting, he and his wife run a Pilates studio in New York.
Nice.
He went on to do a lot of voice work. I noticed, in shows like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. But also, he was a really good friend of the late Corey Haim, and starred in Haim's debut film, Firstborn, where he played Haim's, I believe, brother. He was even a pallbearer at Corey Haim's funeral.
Oh,
Yeah.
sad day. So later at the cabin, Judy gets all the girls' attention and says that they should thank Angela for getting Meg in trouble. And Angela says she didn't do anything. So Judy throws a pillow at her. Then she gets snotty and wants to know why Angela won't shower with them. And she calls her queer and asks if she even has reached puberty. Then she says the best thing ever.
This line, man.
She says, "You're a carpenter's dream, flat as a board and needs a screw."
It's so quotable, man. You'll hear people quote this line all the time, along with the fucking eat shit and live. And then you also got one later on where it's like, meet me by the social. People, this movie's so quotable to the fans, especially that fucking line that Judy says.
Yes. I'm glad I'm not the only one that wanted it.
Yeah.
So Susie is trying to get Judy to stop, and Judy tells her to fuck off. So Susie slaps her.
Oh, that feels so good.
Right? But then she's like horrified that she did that. And Angela says she's going down to see her cousin, and she would be back before dinner.
And all these people are friends, by the way. Like, all these actors are friends and stuff. So they were having a hard time doing this to each other. Like, later on, they throw Angela in the water. And like the two actors were like, they felt bad about it, throwing Felissa into the water. Another thing is, you might notice it seems weird when you don't know much about this movie and you're just going into it knowing that's just a low budget 1983 slasher, is the cinematography is really fucking good in this movie. Like, tight shots. There's a lot of good depth and stuff to it. And I know, guys, I'm getting really technical. but what this movie really does, what this movie does really smartly, is that how you say that? Oklahoma school system.
Really smart.
Smartly. But they lay out all these hints about the ending and who Angela really is.
Right.
You notice she doesn't want to swim with others. She always showers alone. And of course, Aunt Martha telling them not to tell anybody about how they got their physical exams is like one big fucking red flag.
Right.
And it might be when you first see Angela enter the camp, but on her bag, I'm pretty sure there is a Rocky Horror Picture Show reference, which if you think about that and you think about Frankfurter, Dr. Frankfurter.
Oh, yeah.
So it kind of like a little hint there, but, and we'll discuss that ending when we get to it. But did you think you had the killer pegged down? Who did you think was the killer at this point?
I thought it was Ricky for a long time.
And when I first saw this movie, I kind of thought so too.
Yeah.
I thought maybe Ricky, or I kind of thought maybe they were in on it together or something like that.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite sure though. Like, I'm always interested in your take on who you think the killer is throughout these things.
Right. I really thought it was Ricky for a long time because I thought he was defending her.
Oh, yeah.
Because he loves her. That's his cousin.
Yeah, because he is very defensive.
Yes.
Over Angela.
There's so many scenes where he's like defending her and
Yeah.
stuff coming up. So Angela goes to see Ricky, like in the scene right here.
Right here.
And on her way there, some boys hit her with water balloons, and they're like on the roof of the cabin.
More short shorts. And how are these guys missing each other on top of this cabin? Like, but they peg her like right off the bat.
Like right in the fucking face.
Yes.
Like, what? Well, Ricky sees this and he starts freaking out on them, and Paul comes out to help Angela. Mel grabs Ricky and tells him he needs to take it easy, and he tells the boys to get off the roof. And then Mel tells them all that they cannot have canteen for a whole week, and even Ricky because he was cussing.
Which, by the way, Ricky here, Jonathan Tiersten, this is actually how he got the role, is Robert Hiltzik had him cuss him out during
Nice.
during a take, and he goes the fuck off, man. He's going all sorts. He's throwing all sorts of combos out there. Like, this is some good cussing right here. This is good
He
shit.
was pissed.
That was good. He may have been channeling some anger because Felissa said they kind of had a little fight before this.
Nice.
I love the teenage love that was going on behind the scenes here.
Oh.
There was nothing gross or anything going on. There was no parties. There was no drugs because it's all kids.
Right.
But like, it's just funny to think about. Like, these two were kind of somewhat dating and stuff like that. And
they're cousins.
yeah, that's weird. That's awkward.
Anyway, sometime later, the guy that threw the water balloon at Angela goes to take a shit. He sits there.
I like how you emphasize shit.
Shit.
He went to go take a big old shit.
I mean, he kind of said that.
He did too. Like, I don't know why it's so funny to me when people announce themselves like they don't announce themselves like, I'm gonna use the restroom. Like, that's not funny.
I'm gonna go take a dump.
I'm gonna go take a big shit. I'll be back. It's like, for some reason, that's comedy gold to me. I don't know why.
Because you're 13.
Yeah.
So he sits there, and then we see someone jam the door. Then they cut the screen and stick a beehive in the stall and shake it. And the kid starts freaking out and trying to get out the door. And he finally gets it open. And he just falls over and dies because he's covered in bees.
Yeah, very, very thought out kills in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Where did you get this beehive? Why were you not stung to death?
Well, it's the woods.
Well, okay, yes.
I don't know. If you're calm around the beehive, maybe it'll be okay. It's not my girl.
He can't. Where's his glasses?
Where's his glasses?
He can't see without his glasses. Oh, that's such a sad scene.
Oh, so this guy gets Macaulay Culkin, and
Before Macaulay Culkin was even born.
Oh wow! Before that movie, that's good. Robert Hiltzik did it first. Sleepaway Camp did it first, but that was a real knife that Jonathan had to use to cut through the screen, and he said that it was a dull knife. So he was also left-handed, so he has to use his right hand. So it was a miracle he cut through that thing. As it is. But for this hive scene, a dummy was made of Billy here, and a sugar mixture was kind of rubbed all over it, so the bees would actually like stick to it.
Oh, okay.
But they had real bees and a real beekeeper on set.
Nice.
As opposed to a fake beekeeper. What am I talking about?
Real bees and their keeper.
Yes, that's the proper way to say that. But again, this is a really cool fucking effect.
Yes.
I mean, there's so much going on with the dead bodies. Not so much little kids later, but you know what I mean? Like, there's so much going on with these dead bodies. It just makes it stick out a little bit more,
Oh, yeah. So Mel is pissed when he finds out about the kid, and Mel says that they should send all the kids home because they're going to get shut down, and no one is going to send their kids there again. Ronnie says that they should finish out the summer and tomorrow consolidate the bunks. And Mel says yes, to keep the people close together and less chance of the killer getting them. Not true. Anyway, Ronnie says that he doesn't know. He says, you don't know that there's a killer yet. And Mel says he has known all along and he hasn't done anything. But he's going to do something now. And
you gotta admire the greed that fucking Mel has keeping this camp over with a killer if he's known the entire time.
Right.
And he's just now gonna do something. I don't know. It's just funny. You gotta admire that kind of greed.
Right.
Like, fuck these kids. I'm getting my money.
Right. Well, Ronnie just calls him crazy. So it's night now, and we see Angela sneaking around looking at something, and Paul sneaks up behind her. She gets scared because she thought he was the killer, and Paul says that they should go down to the lake before they get caught or murdered. Okay, what a joke. Anyway. So they are playing around by the lake and end up making out. and Paul wants to undo her shirt. This is where we get the weirdest scene in the whole movie. We get this weird dream memory thing of two men in bed romantically, one of them being Angela and Peter's father.
Yeah.
Um,
And the other one is the one that died at the lake, you know.
Their dad was the one that died at the lake.
Well, their dad that died in the lake, but the guy on the shore is the other guy that their dad is making out with. So.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, he was in the beginning sequence too. Then we see Angela and Peter as young children laughing at them. And then we see them in bed, and Peter is just pointing at Angela, and the room is kind of like spinning around this bed. I don't know. It's very weird. It confused me a little bit. But back to reality, and Angela freaks out and runs away.
So, okay, yes, this scene has confused a little bit.
Yeah.
And by the way, Robert hated the way Felissa ran here. He was like, "You're running too much like a girl." And Felissa's like, "I fucking am a girl."
Right.
But, you know, but now this dream or vision sequence where Angela is seeing two men in bed, her father and his lover, and them pointing at each other, you know, the two kids, it kind of starts this heavy part of this movie. This movie has a lot of heavy psychosexual kind of themes to it that a lot of people, I think they kind of miss, because you think you're just watching a straight slasher, but then Sleepaway Camp comes along and it has all these little different layers you can pick at and peel and look at a little bit more. But, you know, people get a little confused over this, but basically this is our first big hint that Angela is really a boy.
Right.
You know, you got the two kids in bed. He's pointing at her. He's the boy, but he's pointing at the girl. So the boy's really a girl. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just a little
like
artsy kind of
he's like, "I am you."
Yeah. You see what I mean? But and Angela's going through something right now where she's really a boy and she's attracted to boys. So maybe she's more like her dad or her dads. So she's kind of remembering that, kind of comparing herself to them. Well, maybe I'm that way.
I didn't think about
you
that.
know, but also she's been raised a girl by her crazy ass aunt. So that severely confused her.
Right.
So which would explain why she runs away from Paul here. She isn't quite comfortable with getting intimate with Paul, even though she likes him.
Right.
It's very confusing because, spoilers, Angela's really Peter. So Peter's a boy. So
Spoiler.
Peter,
You're just now saying spoilers and you just went into a big long
we've
thing
spoiled
about
this entire movie, this entire thing. If you guys are listening to this and haven't seen Sleepaway Camp, get the fuck out of here. Shut this thing off now. But you see what I'm talking about? It's heavy for a slasher. It's a very heavy little. It's wild. It's something you wouldn't expect to be in your slasher movie from 1983.
I agree.
These little themes. But there's a lot going on here with Angela. And so basically these are just memories to her, you know, like it's just kind of seeping through. And it's really our hint that something's more to Angela than what we think. And I'm not saying the first time around, first watching this scene, that you should get what I just said. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, no.
It should all come together at the end. Like when you think back on the scene, it kind of makes more sense as you go through. It's kind of cool because no slasher ever has really, at this point in 1983, really done a, oh, wow moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh, that's what that means. You know, there's none of that in slashers usually, you know. But yeah,
here we are.
Yeah, there's fucking layers to Sleepaway Camp.
So the next day, the campers are going to play Capture the Flag. Paul and Angela are talking, and he says that he wasn't doing anything that bad. And Angela ends up apologizing because, you know, this is how the fucking works, okay? The boy does something wrong, and the girl fucking apologized. Anyway, sorry, that's my rant for a second.
Yeah, you know, that's also a thing. You know, we do get, like, pressures and stuff in this movie too, like you get to see that pressure on the girls to have sex with the dudes.
Yeah, and she says, "I'm just not ready." You're fucking 13. Anyway, well, he goes to put his arm around her, and this makes her mad, so she walks off.
Yeah, because it's like he's not even listening. You know?
Right. So Judy comes up and tells Paul that he needs to just let her go, and that she knows a lot of things. Like she's like trying to because he's like, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
And she's like, I know a lot of things. You little whore.
Judy.
Well, Ricky finds Angela and tells her that he has a great way to capture the flag, and they're going to cut through the woods and sneak up behind them or whatever. Well, they go through and Ricky sees Paul kissing Judy, and then Angela sees it too and runs off. And Ricky calls Judy a scumbag and says that, or she just says that he's jealous.
Yeah, and this is another thing that kind of gets you away from Friday the 13th at around 1983 is because there's literally like some more story here. Like there's definitely like some drama and stuff to these characters,
right?
Even though it's little kid drama, but you know what I mean. Like I think that also helps this movie with its staying power because you have characters you care about in this movie,
right?
But if you notice, Karen Fields didn't really want to kiss. She didn't want to kiss anybody here. So if you notice when they're doing this kiss here, he's like making out with her cheek.
Why did she not want to kiss? Do you know?
I don't know. She may just not want to kiss anybody.
Oh, okay.
We just talked about how it's not okay.
I'm just asking a question.
I don't know. To me, that proves that Robert wasn't forcing these kids to do anything they weren't comfortable with. You know, I appreciate that.
Right.
I appreciate the director of my slasher movie being a decent human being.
Right. So a little later, Paul goes to apologize to Angela, and he says that Judy just wouldn't leave him alone, and he wants another chance with her. Well, Judy walks up and says that Paul told her she was a prude, and Paul is mad and walks off. Well, Judy starts picking on Angela and suggests a swim. Angela doesn't say anything, and she's just staring. So Judy calls her a spoiled little bitch. And this is when Meg walks up and wants to know what's going on. So Judy tells her, well, Meg grabs Angela and throws her in the water. Okay, this is a weird little like split screen. So split scene. So I just put one here and...
Again, some really cool cinematography because what we're seeing here is Mel and Ricky talking on the shore up closer to the camera. And then you're seeing behind them what's happening to Angela. And it does kind of cut between the two. But
right.
Like
it's easier to split them up into two different things. Yeah. But anyway, well, Mel stops Ricky while he's walking and wants to talk to him. They're talking about that there's not many guys around. And this is when Ricky sees Angela getting thrown in the water, and he tries to go help her. Well, Mel grabs him and wants to know how he's going to do the next kill because he knows he's the one killing people. And Ricky doesn't know what he's talking about. And Mel says that he killed them all. And Ronnie comes up and stops Mel, and Ricky goes and saves Angela from the water.
Ronnie's about to take Mel back to his shack. So keep in mind that these little kids, keep in mind that when they're coming out of the water, Angela and Ricky, that there's these little kids splashing and kind of being mean to them.
Right.
You know, keep a pin in that.
So it's night now, and the counselors are having a little meeting before the social. Ronnie tells one of the guys that he has to take the kids camping, like his group of campers or whatever, fucking kids.
Yeah.
Then he says that Meg has the night off. So Meg goes and talks to Mel and wants to have dinner with him later at his place.
I'm sorry. Just Mel chomping on a cigar with his socks and his shorts and his polos. Oh God.
So she goes to get ready for this date and goes to shower in the empty cabin's bathroom because there's a line in the other one. And someone walks in and stabs her through the shower.
Oh, it's great too. They stab and then they cut down. And there's so much blood.
And down and down. Yeah. And then walks over and washes the knife off a little bit.
I love that part. It's like, well, I don't want to go around with a bloody knife. Let's just wash this thing off.
Washes it off and then turns the water off.
Yeah. You save that water too. You don't want to waste money. It was the killer Mel. No. And first, okay, going back to Meg trying to fuck Mel. Was Meg just obsessed with power? Because you're not going to get ahead anywhere here.
Yeah.
You're just going to be a counselor. It's not like I'm making you co-director.
He might have.
I don't know. I just feel like she's getting off on the whole power thing. Like maybe she gets, I don't know, extra canteen privileges. But did any... Yeah, by the way, did anyone else notice this Loverboy poster in the background here? Or is that just me?
No.
Like every
There's
time,
posters.
everybody's working for the weekend. Anyway.
Did the poster sing to you?
Yes. But Catherine Cammy didn't want to do nudity in this shower scene. So that's why you only see her from the shoulders up.
Right.
And she's doing that tried and true method of I'm taking a shower in cinema terms where she's just rubbing her shoulder in her face with no soap, I think. I love that. But yeah, she's wearing a bikini, so that's why you don't get anything below the shoulders. I think in one of the video, it's an Anchor Bay release, and I'll talk more about these Anchor Bay DVDs later on. But you can see the bikini, like they go too low in the cut.
Oh no!
And so you can see the bikini, so it makes the movie not make much sense in that scene because it's like, why is she showering with a bikini on?
Right.
But, you know, to get that scene where she gets stabbed, which I love when she's found because you can still see the stab mark running down her back.
Oh, yeah.
That's just a big old blood bag behind a fake wall.
Nice. I like that. So the one counselor, Eddie, he goes to take the kids camping and they're already fucking annoying him. This is why I don't take my kids camping because
it would annoy me too. And, you know, for that alone, it's okay what happens to these kids coming out.
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, man.
Paul goes to talk to Angela again, and he apologizes this time. And he said that he was just pissed. And Judy and a boy walk by and make fun of them. And Angela tells Paul to meet her at the waterfront after the social.
Meet me at the waterfront after the social. Like again, it's quotable.
I don't know how that is quotable.
I don't know. A lot of people, I don't know. It's a horror movie thing, I think. All of us quote random lines from this movie.
Right. So then we see the campers again, and one of them wants to go back. Or two of them, actually.
Yeah.
So Eddie leaves the ones that are asleep and takes the ones back that want to go back. Then we see someone is watching them, and then the person sees an axe by them.
Dun, dun, dun. Yes. So a lot of people have asked, why did the little kids have to die? Right. Well, Robert Hiltzik, what he was really trying to do here was set this movie apart from other horror movies at the time. You know, like I said, he was making this movie to get get his foot in the door.
Right.
So he wanted something unpredictable, not just another cookie cutter kind of movie. And what's more unpredictable than offing a bunch of kids?
I guess so.
And you all know me. I love some kid death. I think I've talked about that multiple times. When a movie has the balls to murder a bunch of little children,
yeah,
I'm there for it. You know, that's a
horrible.
lot of people talk shit about those Star Wars prequels. But you know what? Anakin murders a bunch of kids in that movie with a lightsaber, so I'm cool. You know, that movie had the balls to go there.
Okay.
But
okay, then.
This is why I don't review movies. But even with the pacing and the way the story moves, you know, it's all so different and unlike your Friday the 13th movie. And other slashers around this time. Films were just pretty people going out to the woods and die in slashers. You know, that's usually what you got. I mean, those of us who are diehard fans of these movies, like the Friday the 13th franchise, you know, we can select, you know, characters from those movies from the early sequels and stuff. But you try to remember one person who gets killed in any of those, you know, remember one person if you're just a casual viewer, you know, and they don't stick out much at all. You know, like I said, pretty people go to the woods to die in those movies. But here it's very different. Like I said, you have actual characters that are memorable and not just their deaths. You know, their deaths aren't the reason they're memorable.
Right.
You know, you're going to remember Judy. You're going to remember Meg because they're fucking bitches. Paul is a weirdo who can't fucking make up his goddamn mind and just wants to stick it somewhere. Ricky's yelling at people. Mel's chomping cigars and trying to keep the camp open, but also taking matters into his own hands, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Ronnie's lifting weights everywhere we go.
And fixing all these messes.
And taking people to his shack for God knows what happens. We never actually go into the shack, I don't think.
No.
Angela's staring at people. You got it all. Like, you can pick a character out of this movie. It's great.
Right.
Mozart's. We need to investigate Mozart a little bit. The kid with the glasses, because he's pulling knives on people. So we might want to check in on him at some point. But
I think they tried to throw us off with him.
yeah, there's a lot of red herrings in this movie, like you get with any movie.
Right.
But you know, the killer is also the most tragic part of this whole story.
Oh, it's so sad.
You know, and it really makes our ending that much more shocking. Felissa has said there's so much love for this fucking character, you know, and she gets kind of surprised every once in a while because in most cases, you know, fans come up to her and they can relate. You know, they were bullied, they were picked on, and they were in Angela's shoes. You know, they were somebody that they weren't.
Right.
You know, I think when people approach this film, they do like to call, and I'll talk more about it at the end of the episode, but they like to talk about Angela being a problematic character. But really, she's just a representation of someone having to be something they're not.
Right.
You know, and I don't see that as problematic.
I don't think so either.
So in that way, like if you think about it in a certain light, Sleepaway Camp could be seen as more of a revenge story.
Yeah, because they're all revenge killings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mel goes looking for Meg because she never showed up for their date. Then we see Judy making out with the boy in the cabin, and the boy has to hide really quick because Mel walks in. And when Mel leaves, the boy says that he is going to leave because he doesn't want to get caught. And Judy calls him chicken shit, and he just walks out.
Chicken shit.
He's like, see you tomorrow. She was like, the hell you will, or something like that. What? What a whore. Anyway.
What a whore.
Well, Mel goes to check out next door for Meg, like Judy had told him. And he walks into the bathroom, and surprisingly, this is right when Meg fucking falls. Like, she's standing there the whole fucking time.
This has got to be like a new Murphy's Law that, like, whenever a body is just hanging there, like, it's going to fall in front of a character if they walk near it.
Right? It's been like 30 minutes. Like,
yeah.
What? Anyway. Oh, and this is where we see this big cut all the way down her back.
Oh, yeah. It looks great, too.
Yeah.
The care that went into the dead bodies in this movie.
It's great. So Mel freaks out and says that he did this to get back at him, and he's talking about Ricky.
Yeah, he did it to my camp poon. Now I can't have sex with this underage girl.
Ew, don't say poon. But I really was expecting him to like touch her inappropriately for some reason.
I'm glad we didn't get a male filling up on a younger girl scene. I'm glad we were saved
because he
from
was
that.
like staring at her like he was going to.
Ugh.
Yeah, like he thought about it.
It's fucking socks.
You know he
You
thought
think the
about it.
socks stay on? Oh, God. Was that from Big Daddy? His old balls.
What does that have to do with socks?
I don't know, man. I'm just thinking about this old creep filling up a younger lady. Anyway,
so Judy's in the cabin and she's curling her hair, and she hears something. Well, someone opens the door, and Judy can't see who it is until they get closer because she's got the lights off because she doesn't want to have to go to the social. Well, the person punches her in the face and then grabs the curling iron. The person puts a pillow over Judy's face and does something very despicable to her with said curling iron. And then all we see is a shadow of Judy's hands up in the air. And when Judy dies, the person rolls her under the bed.
Oh, and you hear the sizzle. You hear that sizzle sound effect. They must have worked on that one.
Maybe they just did like her throat.
You said despicable here? This is the where you draw the line. Now,
I don't want a sizzling hot fucking curling iron in my coochie, okay?
Hey, first of all, let me ask everybody: does everybody curl their hair in the dark? Is that the thing?
No.
You usually curl your hair. Okay, I didn't know.
She was bored.
I guess now because Okay, a funny part about this is we watched the Scream Factory Blu-ray and we watched it on Shudder, which they, I think, show the Blu-ray version of this movie because it's the uncut version. It's not what you would get on those Anchor Bay Blu-rays, but or DVDs, sorry. But but on this high def transfer, you can clearly see it's Ricky in the fucking doorway with a wig on. It's like hair extensions on. It's ridiculous looking. But like now originally that wasn't, you weren't supposed to see the face because on like the VHS and stuff like that on those old cuts, it's very dark. Okay. So you don't see the face. It's supposed to be a mystery, but it is out in the open here.
And this is what confused me. And I was like, what? Wait,
did we just see the killer? Because it's literally like, I see him.
There.
But it's not supposed to look like that. But no, of course, this is the infamous curling iron scene, which still, I don't even have a vagina. And it makes me, ugh. And by the way, I know you're like, well, maybe he sticks it in her throat or stomach, maybe. No, Felissa Rose has come out and said, yes, I stick the curling iron inside Judy's vagina. Clasp open, by the way. How does that? That's even worse. Why does that make it worse?
Oh, because then you get the clit.
Yeah, you're getting the whole vajayjay up in that thing, and that's got to be the worst death ever. That's brutal.
I've burned my hands before.
Oh, you burning cooch. Oh, God.
I never burned my cooch, but I burned my hands.
Smells like fried cod in there or something. Anyway, but I'm sorry. That's so rude. But but you got to love the jazz hand shadows, though.
Yeah.
You know, the jazz hands. Those are great.
Yes. So when Eddie gets back to the campground, he sees that the kids that he left there had been killed. So he starts crying and throwing off. Oh, my God.
He's throwing off.
He's throwing up, and he runs off for help.
Okay, another Anchor Bay weird thing they did is that they cut the shots of the dead kids in that DVD.
Not that you can even really tell that those are
just
children.
Bloody sleeping bags,
right?
But okay, back on the kids thing. I don't even think I answered the question I asked earlier. Is why did the kids have to die?
Yeah.
Well, because they were mean. That's just as simple as that.
Right.
That's the funniest answer. But talking about those Anchor Bay DVDs, it was weird, man. If any of you guys had the opportunity to have those DVDs, which I do, I have the DVD. It's mostly just the first one. It's got the weird. Anchor Bay did a weird cut of that movie. Like they add stuff and they take stuff away that doesn't make a lot of sense.
That's weird.
And so it makes the movie a little weirder. Like I don't know. Stuff doesn't line up right.
Right.
And I don't really know why they chose to do that. Anchor Bay, I don't think they've done anything else like that because Anchor Bay was the biggest distributor at one point of all these cult movies.
Oh, wow.
And then you got Blue Underground, then you get Scream Factory later on and Vinegar Syndrome. But yeah, they were one of the biggest people releasing that. Because I remember I bought this in the the Sleepaway Camp, and I'll show it to you after we're done here. But it's the Sleepaway Camp Survival Kit. And it's got all 3 movies and the 4th movie, which is unfinished, but it's on the disc. And it's got that. It looks like a first aid kit. That's cool. Now that first aid kit, when it got released, and I don't think I have the one with the cross on it, but the Red Cross literally sued them because they put that cross on the front of it.
No.
Yeah. And I don't think I got the one with the cross, but I do have that set, and it's very cool. I'll let you see it in a little bit.
That's awesome. So Ricky tries to go get something to eat, and when he was walking back, Mel grabs him and slaps him. Ricky says he doesn't know what Mel is talking about, and ends up beating him what we think is to death.
Mel goes Donkey Kong on poor Ricky here. Yes. He's just like wailing on this little kid. Yes. Apparently this was a pillow he was really beating, but still.
He's mad, okay?
God.
Then he hears something and says that he needs to get away. When he kind of runs away, he gets stopped by the killer, and he says, "It can't be you." Then an arrow gets shot to his throat, through his throat.
And in the actual script, Ricky really did die. Like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Felissa Rosa said she was reading the script and she turns the page and it just said, and Ricky's dead. It's just like, what?
Oh.
At some point, they decided to keep him throughout the whole movie, which is cool because he returns in a later sequel. But back on Ed French, though, this arrow effect is fucking amazing.
Yes.
And they set this thing up with a fake throat and an arrow on a string and stuff and made it go through. It just looks good.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn practical effects. All this shit would have been done with CGI and it would have been terrible. But I think I mentioned that I think he won an Oscar for one of his films. What the hell was that? Did he do Wrath of Khan?
I don't know.
I think he did Wrath of Khan.
Okay. Sure.
You're like, sure.
I don't know. What is that?
It's Star Trek.
Oh, see?
Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan.
That's
Khan!
stupid. Anyway. So the police show up and the policeman talks to Ronnie. And Susie tells him that Angela and Judy are missing. Then someone says that Paul and Ricky aren't back yet either. So they split up into pairs to find them.
Oh yeah. By the way, that was not he didn't work on Star Trek 2 Wrath of Khan. It was Star Trek The Undiscovered Country. My bad.
You liar.
Well, I'm sure we got a lot of Star Trek fans out there, and I don't know if you've ever pissed off a Star Trek fan before, but yeah.
I'm sure I have.
So anyway, the actor who plays the cop here, back on this mustache, man, this glorious fucking mustache. You saw the real nicely trimmed porn stash at the beginning. Well, apparently this actor was in a commercial or something during the making of this that required him to shave.
Oh, no.
So for some reason, instead of going and getting a fucking actual mustache from a prop department or something, it looks like he cut out shapes from felt and glued it to his fucking lip.
That is what it looks like.
It looks like Groucho Marx eyebrows on this man's lip. It is ridiculous.
And it doesn't match his hair color.
No, it is the darkest black.
He's like a sandy blonde, and this is a fucking black mustache.
Jet black mustache, and it's not meeting right in the middle, and it's both sides are skewed.
You
and
know
not
what it looks
centered.
like? It looks like an old man's eyebrows.
Yes,
on this guy's face.
It's fucking ridiculous, and I just want this man with this fucking mustache as a poster. No wording or anything, just that as a
Just
poster
that.
on the wall.
People will be like, what
the fuck is that from?
So anyway, Paul is waiting for Angela by the lake, and she finally shows up. She says she wants to go swimming without the clothes, and Paul is very ready for that.
God damn it, Paul. Well, see, you guys don't think with your dicks, okay?
Why is every guy named Paul like this? Anyway.
Really?
You're Paul?
Oh, I don't have a Paul, but are you talking about the guy I work with?
Yes.
Or worked with? I'm getting laid off, but yeah, he does seem to think.
What do you mean
with
you
his
don't
dick.
have a Paul?
He does
You
think
do
with his
have a
dick.
Paul.
Do you know another Paul? I feel like you're generalizing Pauls.
I don't know another Paul.
See,
Yeah.
you're being a little unfair to the Pauls out there,
I'm not being a Paulist, okay?
Yeah, don't be a Paulist.
Anyway.
We apologize to the Pauls of the world.
This is too much Paul.
This is
okay?
too much. This is. I've never said Paul this much in my fucking life.
Anyway, the counselors and officers find Ricky, and he isn't dead. So they are carrying him back to the cabin when they hear someone scream because Susie has found Meg.
And by the way, poor Jonathan Tiersten spent 3 hours for this makeup just to get a little scene of him going.
That's horrible. Ronnie and Susie are still looking for the others, and they hear something. This is where they find Angela, and she's singing to Paul.
And the movie has been creepy, right?
Yeah.
It's been pretty scary. It's been a good slasher, good scary moments and stuff like that. But this is where it gets really fucking horrifying.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird. And this whole ending, along with the famous shot we'll get to.
Yeah.
It is just fucking in your face, and it happens, and it's what the fuck?
Right. It really ramps up here, right?
Yes,
right in the last 5 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. So they're both naked and facing away from Ronnie and Susie.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get another dream memory thing of the weird aunt lady taking in Angela after the accident.
Mhm.
And she's talking about how she always wanted a little girl. And she says they already have a boy and another boy just won't do. So then she says she'll like the name Angela. And she says, won't you, Peter? And this makes for real life Angela / Peter mad. And she stands up. The person stands up. Angela. And Paul's
confused here.
Yes. And Paul's head has been ripped off. And she's just standing there with her mouth open. And we see that she is actually a boy.
Oh, in this fucking scene, man.
She's Peter with a Peter.
Peter or Angela is standing there, and it is fucking horrifying. And for some reason, the face.
Yes, it's like it's screaming, but there's no sound.
Yes, it's so good. And Felissa Rose does a wonderful job of that. So in this ending, my God, the close-ups are Felissa Rose. But as we pull out, it's another person. With they cast Felissa Rose into her face into a mask. So this is somebody wearing a mask. And for some reason combined, it's just practical effects what we're seeing here. But for some reason, those combined, it just makes for the most horrific scene, I think, in any slasher movie. This scene scared the living bejesus out of me when I saw it in high school. Like, it made me shit my pants.
It's pretty scary.
Yes. So, like I said, that was actually Felissa's face that was cast into a mask. And the guy they got to play the body was this college student who apparently was so upset about doing the scene that he needed to get drunk before the shot. And if you watch in the Anchor Bay DVD, I think it is, you can see him getting naked off in the background.
Why would he take it if he was so upset about it?
I don't know. And that's the thing, because we will never know, because like I said, he was ashamed about this and still to this day hasn't come forward. Literally no one knows who this guy is.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But this end scene still gives me the fucking creeps. And of course, the legendary shot of Felissa with her mouth open is still iconic, man. Just that. And we freeze on that and we change into green and then we go to credits, It's wonderful. And then you got to love Angela's theme coming in here at the end. It's so good. The song that plays over the credits.
Oh.
You're just what I was looking for. Anyway, that's written and performed by Frankie Vinci. And now he actually recorded 3 original songs for this picture.
Oh, wow.
But only one was included. Now, you hear a lot of people say that Angela is problematic. Like, I mentioned it earlier, mostly because they like to say that she's a bad representation of a trans character, trans horror, the trans evil doer, which it is a problem in horror cinema. I agree. In early horror cinema, too. We here at Night of the Horrorphile don't like to look back on these old movies and fucking hate on them for that because things change. That's how life should be. We should change our mind and we should grow as people, and we have. So let's not go back in time and hate on things.
Right. Doesn't mean you have to hate your favorite movie.
No. But to me, it's the opposite of what I think a lot of people think. Angela is honestly, I think she's a representation of sexual identity struggle. What we have here is someone who is forced to identify as a girl when really they are a boy. In their mind. So to me, isn't that what the trans community is fighting against? Now, I'm not part of the trans community, so I can't speak for everybody, but this is my opinion. But they also, they, Peter, Angelo, whatever you want to say, they also might be gay. So that's another thing. That's another layer of confusion that Angela is dealing with over her attraction to boys when she really is a boy. So really the problem isn't actually Angela here in this movie. It's the outside world.
Yes.
It's the whole outside world. Angela is being forced to identify someone they aren't. And on top of all that, she's constantly bullied and pressed down. And this tiny person is basically snapped and exploded on everyone around her.
Yeah, I would too. Fuck that.
Yeah, I honestly don't feel like Angela is even trans.
I don't think so either.
I don't see that character as that.
I think that it's Peter, obviously, and he's a gay boy.
Yeah, and he's being forced to be a girl,
right.
which, you know, fuck.
And that's not their fault.
No, it's the crazy fucking aunt.
Right.
So she's no more a villain than Frankenstein's monster, really. They didn't choose this.
Right.
So in a different light, Angela could be seen as an anti-hero, if you wanted to look at it that way.
I see that.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Sleepaway Camp was released in 85 theaters in New York on November 18th, in 1983. Then following in the spring, it premiered in Los Angeles on May 25th, 1984.
Oh.
In the first week alone, it grossed $90,000, but went on to gross $11 million against its $350,000 budget.
Dang.
This was a hit. A lot of people think, oh, it's underrated. It's under. No, it just had a weird time where it faded out.
Right.
You know, like I said, it started getting its resurgence back with all the home video releases. Even the VHS releases, you know, it started gaining a cult following, which is really weird because this was so successful box office wise. But now it's considered one of the best cult movies ever made. Yeah, it's very interesting how that happened.
Right.
But and I know, most of you only count 3 sequels to this movie. The film had 4 sequels: Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3, and then Return to Sleepaway Camp. That's usually what people think, but like I said, it had 4. Which, by the way, Felissa Rose returned for Return to Sleepaway Camp, and a lot of people give that movie hate, but I love it. I think it's one of the best. But there was an unfinished 4th movie that you could have seen if you bought the Anchor Bay collector set that I have.
Well, I didn't.
No, you did not. I think they ended up going back and giving that movie a release on its own, but I do not know where you can fucking get that. I don't know if that's a rumor or if it's some bootleg somewhere that's coming from Guam. So that's up to you guys to track down on your own. It's worth taking a look at. It's not it's not very good. It's okay. It's worth taking a look at for completists, I think. There's been talk about another sequel or a reboot.
Oh my God, no.
Nobody really knows, but I think Robert Hiltzik, I don't think he wants to do a reboot. I think he's been talking about another sequel because he came back to direct Return to Sleepaway Camp. So, and from the sounds of it, he might be a little protective about this. Who knows? I hope Felissa Rose returns. That's all I'm hoping. Right. I'm hoping we get more Felissa Rose. But you know, to me, this movie isn't just another killer, often pretty people in the woods. It's truly unique, and unique during a time when slashers were basically just cookie cutter repeats.
Right.
I think that's why it has so much staying power. And of course, I mean, Angela, you know, Felissa Rose is Angela. That character should be is up there with Freddy and Jason and stuff as being one of my favorite killers.
Oh yeah,
in slasher history. But enough about what I think. What did you think about Sleepaway Camp from 1983?
I really liked it. Yeah? Yes, I like the twist at the end, and I mean, it's kind of sad, but.
It is. It's kind of a gut punch, and it's scary at the same time. So it's off-putting.
Right. But I like the pacing of it, and I like that I didn't like any of the characters except for Ricky and Angela.
Yeah, and that
I don't know how to explain it. Like I like Ronnie,
it turns this movie, like I said, with the layers and stuff. It really turns it on you.
Yeah.
Like where you're sympathizing more with the killer, which is something that these slasher movies they can't really do until the sequels.
Right.
You know,
right.
until you get a couple more sequels under your belt. And I think making a sequel to this wasn't really the way to go at first. Like I said, those sequels are fine. They're great. I love them for what they are. But to me, how do you make a sequel to this?
Right.
You know,
you had your conclusions and then.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really bring new characters into this either. It'd be weird. But anyway, that is Sleepaway Camp from 1983. Oh, what did you think about the little themes and stuff, like the psychosexual angles and stuff like that in this movie?
I gave it more depth.
Yeah.
That I think slashers, you could take the depth or leave the depth and it would be fine. But this kind of needed that to have an understanding of why.
Yeah, it's quite it's on a whole different level for an 80s slasher.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what makes it great. And I think that's really what makes it connect with a lot of people, you know.
Right.
But like I said, that Sleepaway Camp from 1983, man. Like I said, we've had a fun August.
Oh yeah.
I think we've done some great movies, and I'm hoping we continue the trend here. With next week's feature, we're watching Psycho Goreman from 2021 or 2020. I can't remember the date, but Psycho Goreman.
That does not sound fun.
I beg to differ. It's probably the most fun I've had with a movie in a long time. It is a blast.
That's to be determined.
It is a treat, and it is a lot of fun, and it is very funny. So we're ending on a light note this month.
Okay.
But until next time, when we check out some hunky boys, I'm Lee Evans. Stay spooky.
And I'm Brittany. Stay horrific.
Bye-bye.
Eat shit and live.
Thanks for listening. To get a hold of us and submit your stories, fan mail, and death threats, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and nightofthehorrorfile.com. Our theme song was written and performed by John Brennan, used with permission. Find John at shopjb.bandcamp.com and at badtechno.com. If you like what you hear, leave a good review wherever you listen to podcasts, and share the show on your social media. See you next week.